Greetings and welcome to Speak Up with Morella on Mental Wellness TV. Today, we will explore a topic that is fundamental to our mental well-being: the power of hope and positive thinking, and how we can consciously cultivate and manage it through practical strategies and everyday solutions to improve our emotional and psychological health. Hope is not just a fleeting emotion or a vague desire for things to go well. It is a cognitive process, a deeply human strength that fuels our motivation, our perseverance, and our ability to envision a better future. Combined with positive thinking, hope can serve as a powerful anchor in times of distress, uncertainty, or hardship. When we nurture both, we equip ourselves with internal tools that help us not only survive, but truly live, grow, and flourish. In today's world, where news cycles often overflow with anxiety-inducing headlines, where personal and collective stressors continue to challenge us, maintaining hope and a positive outlook can feel difficult. However, numerous psychological studies affirm that these two inner capacities are not only beneficial, but essential for mental well-being. According to research published in the Journal of Positive Psychology, individuals who score high in dispositional hope demonstrate stronger coping mechanisms, lower levels of anxiety and depression, and greater life satisfaction. But what exactly is positive thinking? It is not about denying pain or reality. It's not about toxic optimism or pretending everything is fine. Instead, positive thinking involves recognizing the challenges while still believing in the possibility of favorable outcomes. It's about choosing our focus, directing our mental energy toward what we can learn, build, or influence, rather than surrendering to helplessness or cynicism. Hope, on the other hand, can be understood through the lens of psychologist Charles Snyder's hope theory, which defines hope as a combination of goals, agency, our belief in our ability to reach those goals, and pathways, our strategies to get there. In other words, hope is not passive. It is an active process of goal setting, planning, and self-belief. Let us now look at practical strategies to cultivate both hope and positive thinking in our daily lives. Strategies that are accessible and effective, even when the world around us feels overwhelming. First, we can begin by setting small, achievable goals. Even in times of deep uncertainty, having one clear, manageable objective can give us a sense of direction and purpose. Whether it's going for a short walk, finishing a task we've postponed, or simply reaching out to a friend, accomplishing small goals reinforces our belief that we can affect our reality. Secondly, engaging in daily reflection can help us reframe our thoughts. Journaling, for example, allows us to process our experiences and highlight what went well, no matter how small. Practicing gratitude is another proven tool. When we consciously note 3 things we are thankful for each day, our brain begins to recognize patterns of abundance rather than lack, shifting our cognitive biases toward positivity. Third, surrounding ourselves with hopeful language and imagery can make a subtle but significant difference. Reading stories of resilience, listening to empowering podcasts, watching uplifting films. These small choices help to normalize optimism and expand our emotional range. We don't dismiss hardship, but we also remind ourselves that survival, creativity, and compassion are just as real. From a physiological perspective, positive thinking and hope are linked to lower cortisol levels, better immune function, and enhanced cardiovascular health. In a longitudinal study conducted by Harvard University, participants who displayed higher levels of optimism had a significantly reduced risk of chronic illnesses and lived, on average, 11 to 15% longer than their less optimistic counterparts. These findings affirm what many wellness practitioners have believed for decades, that our mindset directly affects our body, and our internal climate shapes our external life. Another useful tool in nurturing hope is visualization. Visualization is a technique where we imagine ourselves achieving a goal or overcoming a challenge, not just in abstract terms, but with vivid detail. This exercise activates the brain's reward system and motivates us to act in alignment with our imagined success. Athletes and performers have used this for years, but it is equally powerful in everyday life. We can visualize ourselves calmly handling a tough conversation, starting a new habit, or simply waking up with peace. Let us also recognize the role of self-talk. The way we speak to ourselves shapes our identity and our possibilities. Instead of, "I'll never get through this," we can practice saying, "This is hard, but I've faced challenges before and made it through." These internal shifts in narrative make external changes possible. Self-compassion is not indulgent. It is the fertile ground in which hope grows. Of course, none of these practices eliminate pain or erase hardship, but they give us tools to face life with resilience and meaning. Hope does not require that everything be perfect. It asks only that we believe something better is possible and that we are worthy of reaching for it. In times of loss, grief, or despair, hope can be especially fragile. This is why we must treat it as a living thing, something we protect, nourish, and return to. Community can play a key role in this. Talking to someone who has walked a similar path, sharing our fears in a safe environment, or simply being witnessed without judgment, these are powerful forms of healing. Positive thinking is not always solitary. It is strengthened through connection. Let's be honest. There are days when hope feels distant, when fear or exhaustion speak louder. And that's okay. Hope is not about pretending we're never down. It's about remembering that even in our lowest moments, we are not stuck. We are in motion, and with time, care, and support, we can move toward healing. This is where mental health professionals can be an invaluable ally. Working with a therapist, coach, or counselor can help us identify limiting beliefs, develop healthier coping mechanisms, and reconnect with our sense of agency. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT for example, has been widely used to challenge negative thought patterns and encourage more balanced, constructive ways of thinking. In addition, mindfulness-based interventions such as mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, have shown measurable improvements in anxiety, depression, and emotional regulation. By learning to observe our thoughts without judgment, we become more aware of the stories we tell ourselves. And in that awareness, we can choose differently. Let's also talk about collective hope. While individual mindset is powerful, we live in interdependent systems. When we see others acting with courage, compassion, and creativity, we are inspired to do the same. Whether it's a community coming together after a crisis, young people advocating for climate justice, or someone rebuilding their life after trauma, these stories spark something within us. Collective hope is contagious and essential. So how do we bring these ideas into daily life? We can start our mornings with intention, asking ourselves what kind of person we want to be that day. We can practice pause before reacting, choosing responses that align with our values. We can end our days with reflection, noting what gave us energy, what drained us, and what we are proud of. These small rituals create continuity and meaning. Let's not underestimate the importance of movement, nature, and creativity. Taking a walk outside, tending to a plant, dancing, singing, painting. These acts reconnect us to the joy and rhythm of life. They remind us that hope is not always found in grand visions, but in the quiet beauty of the present moment. In every act of self-care, drinking enough water, resting, asking for help, saying no, we are affirming our worth and feeding our hope. These choices are not superficial. They are the scaffolding of a healthy, vibrant life. We also encourage cultivating spiritual practices if they resonate with us. Whether through prayer, meditation, or philosophical inquiry, connecting to something larger than ourselves can deepen our sense of purpose and trust. Hope, after all, is a sacred emotion. It ties us to what is unseen but deeply felt. Ultimately, the power of hope and positive thinking lies in their ability to transform not only how we feel, but how we act. They help us resist despair, connect with others, and move through life with authenticity and courage. They are not a luxury. They are essential tools for mental and emotional survival, especially in a world as complex as ours. Let's remember, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to have everything figured out. We just need to stay open to growth, to learning, to kindness, and to the ever-present possibility of something better. Hope is not passive. It is a commitment we make every day to ourselves and to each other. This brings us to the end of today's episode of Speak Up with Morella. We are grateful you were with us as we explored the power of hope and positive thinking. We invite you to send us the topics that matter to you and to join the conversation in our next episodes. What you care about will shape the content we share. Stay with us each day for a new dose of strength, joy, and inner balance. We also warmly invite you to visit our website and explore the curated collections we've prepared for every aspect of mental and emotional wellness. From thoughtful articles and podcasts to guided exercises and meditations, you'll find supportive tools for every step of your journey. Stay with us each day for a new dose of strength, joy, and inner balance. Until next time, we invite you to take care of one another. But above all, take care of yourself. Be well, always.